Hey, welcome to Aussie Wristwatch. I'm Jessica, and today I thought we'd talk very briefly about the brand new Rolex Deepsea. Because, well, it's probably one of the most stupid watches I've ever seen, but I still love it. All right, let's roll the intro and get straight into it, shall we? So the Deepsea challenge, and I'm not going to do my wrist check yet because you'll see in a second. The Deepsea challenge is it's an adaptation of an already experimental watch, namely the one that Rolex did with James Cameron. And for those of you who have been living under a rock for, I don't know, forever and a day, James Cameron is a very prolific film director. He made some of my favorite films of all time, in particular The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I mean, there's not many films that surpass the original, but Terminator 2 Judgment Day certainly did. I think the only one in modern history that I can think of, and there will be others, people please comment. I know it's not a film video channel here, but I do love film. Most recently, Maverick, so Top Gun Maverick, I think, kind of surpassed the original. Whew, controversial. Anywho, so in March 2012, Rolex developed this watch for James Cameron for just over a 10,000 meter dive that he wanted to do. Now, if you go onto the Rolex website, there's actually a pretty phenomenal video James Cameron's in it, at least. I'm assuming he had his hands all over it to make it, about the watch and his love of Rolex and the synergy between that and diving and his love of diving. So Rolex decided to, I don't know, do an even bigger version of that watch because, of course, you know, bigger is always better. So they've made a 50 millimeter deep sea challenge watch. For context, everyone, and this is why I didn't do my wrist check earlier, I am wearing my Panerai PAM 422. You guys know I love this watch. It's one of my favorite. In fact, all my watches are my favorites, but I love this watch. It is 47 millimeters. The new Rolex Deepsea Challenge is 50 millimeters. It's an extra 3 millimeters, even I can do that math, larger than this hunker chunker baby here. I mean, far out. It's huge. Now, in order to combat the massive scale of this watch, Rolex have done something, yes, ingenious was the word I was actually looking for. They've made it out of titanium. So that means it's basically, well, it doesn't weigh nothing, but it's exceptionally lightweight. So it kind of gives this whole light or weightlessness to it, I guess, and which I kind of like that because it, whether you're in space or whether you're under the ocean, there is a level of weightlessness to the whole exercise of that for totally different reasons, obviously. But I think it's quite ingenious. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to have some coffee because this is a stupid watch because who the hell is going to wear a 50 millimeter dive watch? Okay, so as I've said, it's made entirely of titanium, right? So it's grade 5 titanium. It's used in aeronautical engineering and it boasts extreme lightness coupled with strength, which matches that of steel. Now, it's because a steel watch of that size would basically be completely unwearable. And it's about 251 grams, so it's 30% lighter than the James Cameron Deepsea that was made in like 2012. Now, it's just like, I mean, there's some extraordinary research and development that's gone into. Okay, this watch dives to 11,000 meters. let me just put this into context for you a little bit. I'm not a diver, and I've told people this on the channel before. I love dive watches. In fact, it's pretty clear they're one of my favorite kinds, but not exclusively. I was talking to my nephew who's 16 and he dives. And I'm going to get the meters wrong, but you'll kind of get the gist of what I'm saying, right? So he's certified to dive to about 15 meters, I think, and he's about to go and get his advanced certification to do about double that. So let's call it 30 meters. It's probably a little bit more, but in any event, let's call it 50 meters for argument's sake, right? 11,000 meters. 50 for advanced diving. Who's diving 11,000 meters? Not you or I. And if we are, heaven forbid, we've got electronic equipment doing all the hard lifting for us. In fact, I said to my nephew, I'm like, okay, mate, do you have a dive watch? And he goes, pfft. He goes, nah, we've got like equipment that does that stuff. And he's right. And he looked at like my dive watches and he goes, I wouldn't even know how to use those. Now, granted, he wears an Apple Watch, so he's not a watch lover. But I think that sort of just makes the case. I mean, it's all a marketing ploy, right? It's an advertising ploy. I mean, the James Cameron thing, sure, he's worn it, but come on. Maybe it's 50 millimeters large because of the elements that need to go into it in order to make it 11,000 meters water resistant. So there's probably an element of a larger case needing to actually house all of that. And I just wondered too, is it worn like, it must have to be worn on the outside of any, let's call it, I don't know, diving outfit. I'm picturing them in like a weddy, but it's not your traditional weddy that you're going surfing in, that's for sure. So maybe the largeness of it is for visibility, but again, like it's just not a practical watch. But fuck, it's great. I mean, honestly, they've made a completely useless watch. And they've probably spent like millions, hundreds of millions of dollars developing this watch. And some people are going to buy it. And I think good on them. But that's probably not the one for me. I still want to be able to wear it. 47 is probably my limit. I'll never say never, of course. I mean, I've seen there's 50 millimeter watches from Richard Mille, but even they look slightly better. Maybe because they have that that flair to them that's ridiculous as well, that you just kind of go, well, you expect that from a Richard Mille. But 50 millimeters from I kind of like Rolex for its elegance. I don't know. I feel like a Submariner, because it's timeless, or a GMT is timeless, like your classic sports watch. It's still elegant. I don't find the Deepseas elegant, so that's probably why I don't love them as much. I do love them because they're a dive watch, but yeah, I'd prefer a Submariner over the Deepsea. I certainly can't get this watch. It's also about $30,000. Let me just consult my notes, everyone, because I did write this down for once, and I've just got to find it, of course, because I'm useless with this stuff. Yeah, it's $36,750. So I know what my wife would be picking for that price, and that would be the Yachtmaster. She absolutely loves that watch, and it's in I think a precious metal as well. But look. I know Nico Leonard put it up the other week, or Leonard, sorry. Nico Leonard put it up the other week, and he just like laughed, and he just pissed himself like laughing the whole time about the lunacy of the watch. I'm not going to do that, but it's a stupid watch, but it's a good watch. I mean, far out. Yeah, look, like I said, it's all about the marketing. Bless Rolex and that marketing engine that they have to get a day to look inside, peek through the curtain, would be fascinating. But yeah, what a stupid watch. Okay, guys, until next time, do me a favor, like, subscribe. Check out my shop, by the way, because it's Christmas almost, and I sell some stuff to just help supplement this channel to keep running. To get me some new gear. I still need a new camera. But in any event, have a great one, guys. And until next time, enjoy your week.